Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jannavala Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jannavala Jaya Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Rajajanarandana Yashodanandana Rajajanarandana Namanatiraranacharina Namanatiraranacharina Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Hare Krishna Balaram Lord Gira Shri Shri Gonitai Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Garuda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 21, Text 29. Yata atmaritam viryam navadha prashavishyati virye tvadiye rashaya adhasyanti akashatmanaha yata atmaritam viryam navada prashavishyati ye tvadiye rasaya adashyante agyashatmanaha yata atmaritam viryam navada prashavishyati virye tvadiye rasaya adashyante agyashatmanaha. Someone else? Ladies? Any lady? Okay. Ya she te bayu atmabritam, son of her, viryam, the seed, navada, 9 daughters, prashavishyati, will bring forth, virye, tadiye, in the daughters begotten by you, rishaya, the sages, adhashanti, will beget, agyasha, in total, atmana, children. Translation: She will bring forth 9 daughters from the seed sown in her by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children. Let's go on to the next verse. No verse. Tvam cha samyak anushtaya nidisham ma ushattama mayi tirthi krita shesha kriyatomam prapatyasi. With your heart cleansed by proper carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain me. What? Here the word Tirtha Kritashesha Kriyataha are significant. Tirtha means to a sanctified place where charity is given. People used to go to the places of pilgrimage and give munificently in charity. This system is still current. Therefore the Lord says, in order to sanctify your activities and the results of your actions, you will offer everything unto me. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, the result should be given to me only. In another place in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, all penances, and everything done for the welfare of mankind or society. All activities, therefore, whether for the welfare of family, society, country, or humanity at large, must be performed in Krishna consciousness. That is the instruction given by the Lord to Kadamba Muni. Maharaj Yudhisthira welcomed Narada Muni. Wherever you are present, that place becomes sanctified. Of course, the Lord himself is always seated in your heart. Similarly, if we act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and his representative, then everything is sanctified. This is the indication given to Kadamba Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be disclosed in later chapters. Yes. Om Agyan Dimirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshvel Nanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So in this verse, Prabhupada's quoting this very famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering to me. So in Bhakti Yoga, we try and see things through spiritual lenses, which means we try to see how everything belongs to Krishna, and therefore we try to connect everything to Krishna, including our daily activities. So Bhagavad Gita, it teaches us what actually determines whether an action is spiritual or material. And the Bhagavad Gita tells us it's the consciousness or the intention behind the action that determines whether it's spiritual or material. On one hand, we may perform an action to please the Supreme Lord. Perform some service, chant the holy name, read the sacred scriptures, do some puja, make a nice offering of foodstuffs to Krishna. Just by living the pure spiritual and godly life means we're actually acting in such a way to try and please Krishna. On the other hand, we may simply be acting for our own, you could say, selfish material purpose, for our own material enjoyment, our own self-satisfaction, just to try and please ourselves. So everything we do, we see. What we're learning here in this verse, that everything we do in life can be used for spiritual growth, or on the other hand, it can entangle us more and more in the web of material illusion, where we get into this paradigm, we get locked into our own little illusory universe, which simply centers around our own selfish material enjoyment, where we think everything, I am this body, and everything in relation to this body is mine. So if we want to follow this knowledge and put it into practice and achieve real spiritual enlightenment, we have to understand the meaning and practice of Dharma. And Dharma, this word comes up. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us that the Dharma of every living being is seva, or loving service, which is the essential, you could say, nature of the soul. You know, wherever you look in the world, you see people are serving. People are learning, are loving others. You know, people love their family, their friends, they love themselves, they love even their dogs and cats, and they love their country, they love their car, whatever. People, this loving, this propensity to love is part of our essential nature of our soul. And also to serve. Wherever we look in the world, what are people doing? They're serving. You know, the parents are serving their children, children are serving their parents, the baker is making bread. You know, he's serving people by making bread. The builder's building houses. The teacher is teaching in the school. The doctor is helping people solve their medical problems. The painter is painting people's houses. You see that? This it's an eternal, essential characteristic of all living entities, is to serve and also to love. And in Bhagavad Gita we learn that this comes into perfection, this natural propensity to love and serve. It comes into perfection when we learn to love and serve the Supreme Lord. And part of the mysticism, you could say, of Bhakti Yoga is the science of how to spiritualize our whole existence by learning how to dovetail all our activities in Krishna's service. So by practicing Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness, it doesn't necessarily mean we turn our back on the world. No. Rather, we seek to arrange the world around us in loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Of course, this is a great science which is taught by the spiritual masters. It means in our everyday activities in relation to the body and mind, whether it's working in a job, raising a family, studying, even recreational activities, eating, etc., we try to connect them as much as possible to the service of the Supreme Lord. Even raising our children in Krishna consciousness, teaching them about Krishna consciousness is a service to Krishna. Of course, as I said, it takes some developed spiritual intelligence to learn how to do this, which is cultivated by taking guidance from a genuine spiritual master. So in this way, practicing Bhakti Yoga is about honoring the soul's Dharma by transforming material actions into spiritual actions, by trying to please the Supreme Lord through our actions in our everyday life. Yes. So it is said this is the real stepping stone to experiencing real freedom in life. Freedom, spiritual freedom, means freedom from this illusory material consciousness. This conception of I am this body and everything in relation to this body is mine. You know, this, as far as giving goes, you know, in Bhakti Yoga culture, it embodies this universal truth which is shared amongst most spiritual and religious people, that one is best situated in life where one is in this mood of giving. And actually Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita, without sacrificing, without giving some of our time, our energy, our wealth, whatever we have, in devotional service to the Supreme Lord, we can never live happily, either on this planet, in this life, what to say of the next life. So Krishna's telling us, and he's telling us in the Bhagavad Gita, and he's telling us in this verse, that with love and affection, we should try and give something to Krishna. Then our life will be successful. Ultimately, we know Krishna, he doesn't need anything. He's completely self-satisfied. Yet if we give to him, it's for our eternal benefit. It's among Krishna's transcendental pastimes in Vrindavan, there's a story about a woman, and her business was selling fruit. So, she came to Vrindavan, to Braj, and she began calling out, "Oh, inhabitants of Braj, if you want to purchase some fruit, please come. I am selling the fruit." When Krishna, he was just a baby, when he heard that fruit vendor, he went to his mother's pantry and he took a few little grains in his hand and he went to exchange it to get some fruit. He could only just walk. He was only a little boy, a little baby. And while he was hastily rushing to the fruit vendor, most of the grains, he lost them. They fell out of his hand. But when that fruit vendor, when she saw that beautiful form of Krishna, the fruit vendor's heart became just overwhelmed with love and affection. And she accepted those little bits of grain out of Krishna's little hand. And then she filled Krishna's hands with as much fruit as he could possibly carry. And in exchange, Krishna filled her basket with beautiful jewels and gold and she was, this poor lady, she was very, very happy. So in this pastime, Krishna is teaching us that anything offered to him with love and devotion, he can easily reciprocate millions and millions of times over. Yes, whatever we give to Krishna, he reciprocates millions of times over. So although Krishna, as I said, he doesn't need anything, he's completely self-satisfied, but still, Krishna longs for our love and devotion. And the more we sincerely serve him and sacrifice our time, our energy, our resources in his service, the more he appreciates that service. And he rewards us in so many ways. He blesses us with spiritual realization, with spiritual advancement, inner happiness and peace in our life. He actually allows us to enter into a very personal relationship with him and experiences his intimate and eternal friendship. Even some people, out there in the world, in our restaurant at Govinda's, we see these guys, we sometimes employ people to wash the pots, and it's a hard job. But, and most people don't like this job. Actually, it's the lowest job probably you can do in the workforce, is washing pots. If you can't find any other job, you try and get a job washing pots. But when you're washing pots for Krishna, when you're washing pots for Krishna, there's a special taste there. It's enjoyable. It's a great pleasure, actually, to wash the pots, because and Prabhupada used to say, as you wash Krishna's pots, you cleanse your heart. And I think people have realized that, when you're washing pots, it's such a very nice service. Actually, washing Krishna's pots. But it's not the same. It's just some mundane job out there in the material world. There's a special taste there in devotional service. So in Krishna consciousness, by lovingly serve, by lovingly offering to the Supreme Lord, the best we can, according to our capacity. Whether it's a small offering, maybe we can only do a little bit of service, or maybe we can really step out of our comfort zone and really try and do some hard work for Krishna, or sacrifice a lot of time and energy for Krishna. Krishna reciprocates by filling our hearts with a special inner satisfaction that nothing else can provide. It's a special inner satisfaction. So in Krishna consciousness, we learn this process of giving from the heart. And the highest giving, which yields the highest benefit, is giving to the Supreme Lord. When we give from the heart, we become purified, we become nourished, we become enlivened. And it's only really then that the flower of bhakti, the flower of devotion, will actually grow nicely and blossom in our heart more and more. So the very core of our love or love for God or Krishna, it's not just some sentimentality, some sentiment or some feeling. Actually, we find in Bhakti Yoga, love is a devotional work. It's a devotional work, sacrificing our energy, our time, our skills, our wealth, our intelligence. Ultimately, we want to sacrifice our very life for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Yes. Generally in the materialistic world, where people are driven by passion and, I suppose, ignorance, and they simply live in the world and view the world and live in this self-centered, egocentric, competitive, selfish, exploitive way. The mood is just, how much can I get for myself? It's called the me generation. Just grab what you can for yourself. Don't care about anyone else. And this mentality, it leads to becoming more and more covered by ignorance, embedded in greed and lust and desire and selfishness. Thus, Bhagavad Gita explains us that it leads to suffering, one suffering from just simply intense longing and frustration and anxiety. And there's no satisfaction there. Ultimately, there cannot be any real peace or happiness for one who simply cuts off their relationship with the Supreme Lord and views themselves as the independent supreme enjoyer and controller and proprietor. Of course, it's entirely up to us how much we want to give to Krishna, how much we want to surrender to Krishna, how much we want to follow his instructions. Krishna doesn't interfere with our independence, with our free will. He leaves it up to us to make our own choice. In this way, we can understand, spiritual life is a very personal thing. It's up to each individual to determine how much he or she wants to be involved in Krishna consciousness, how much they want to involve their life, how much time they want to give to Krishna. Even people working in the world, out there in the world, that haven't got time to do service, they can offer some of their wealth to Krishna. How much they want to give, that's up to them. In the beginning, one may start simply by chanting Hare Krishna. That's a good start, just chanting Hare Krishna, reading some of the books. As one becomes more and more enthusiastic and make advancement and get more involved. We have the temple programs, we have the festivals, preaching activities, a whole range of service options. You know, how one can get the Lord's mercy and blessings by pleasing Him through sacrificing our time, our energy, and our resources in His service. And of course, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells us we want to always remain happy and satisfied and peaceful in life. We have to arrange our life in such a way that we have a good balance between our everyday material affairs and our spiritual practices. It means every day we have to strategize how I can balance my time, how I can fulfill my material duties in life and still have spare time for meditating, chanting, hearing spiritual topics. You know, people can set up a little altar in their home, you know, and offer some incense and some flowers, some foodstuffs to the Lord. Also, you know, people living out there in the world, especially in the cities, we see this, they do this, that they organize home programs, you know, in their house, and they invite their family, they invite their friends to participate, they invite the devotees to come and maybe do some kirtan, give a talk, they cook some prasadam. This can also be arranged through the temple managers, these beautiful home programs. And as I said before, if one is earning some money, one can offer just a percentage of one's weekly income. Prabhupada talks about this, that you take a little percentage of your weekly income and you offer it to the service of the Lord. In this way, you develop the consciousness that I'm working for Krishna. Yeah. Also, you know, our congregational members, they can share their Krishna conscious experiences with family and friends and neighbors, work colleagues. You know, you can preach to people out there that you meet, just in a nice, friendly, positive way. Also, books. We have the books. You know, some places, the devotees, they carry books with them. When the ladies go out shopping, they keep the books in their bags and they give them to people, you know, when they meet nice people. Just like everyone knows Dhriti. You know, Dhriti. She's Ajita's, the wife of our temple president. You know, she was the checkout girl in the supermarket just near our temple in Brisbane. She just worked in the checkout there, and the devotees they saw she was a nice, friendly girl, and they started giving her a couple of books. And then she came down to the temple one day, and then she met the devotees, and she became a devotee, a wonderful devotee, a very wonderful devotee. She was just working in the checkout there. You know, it's nice, you know, you meet people out there, you know, you can give them a book. And also, you know, you can purchase books from the temple, and you can just give them out to people where you're working. You know, in this way, Krishna will reciprocate perfectly with everyone's loving endeavors. You know, and Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita that he reciprocates not according to our material qualifications or our disqualifications, but in relation to the sincerity of our surrender. You know, some people wonder what is really sincerity. Sincerity means that even though there may be a lot of difficulties in our life and obstacles in our even spiritual practices, if we just keep following the process of Krishna consciousness, you know, this is our sincerity. And you talk to devotees who have been around for many years, and they'll tell you, you know, that it hasn't always been easy. You know, just maintaining his spiritual practices life year after year. But we see that those devotees who were still around for many, many years, they were very sincere devotees. And actually some people, they come and then after a short time they just leave. And they ask Prabhupada, why is this? Prabhupada said, because they weren't so sincere. They weren't really that genuinely interested, in spiritual life. And of course, not everyone's ready to take up, to just give their whole life and make Krishna a part of their whole life. Maybe people maybe in the next life, or maybe a few more lifetimes they can take up seriously. But it's, of course, it's up to each individual, to decide that, but showing our sincerity. Actually, Prabhupada once said that when someone comes along and humbly offers some service and washes the pots for Krishna, this is a sign of their sincerity, doing that humble service for Krishna. And, how much we simply want to try and please Krishna by a sincere, humble, grateful heart, despite all the obstacles and difficulties we may face in life. So Krishna, he is that perfect person who we can really fully give ourselves to. And he will always reciprocate perfectly with our love. Unfortunately, many people in the world today, they're only exposed to the external features of religion. They're never really taught or really know what is the essential purpose of religion. Many people are taught to simply see God as their order supplier, the one who will fulfill all their material desires and free them from the results of their sinful activities. So we see people, they come to the church, they come to the temple, they come to the mosque, whatever, and they just pray in this mood of bargaining with the Supreme Lord. If you give me success in my business, I'll believe in you. If you give me good grades at school, I'll worship you every day. If you cure my disease or illness, I'll make a donation at the temple or the mosque or the church. In this way, they pray in this mood of simply bargaining with the Supreme Lord. You give me this or that, then I'll give you, I'll believe in you, I'll worship you, I'll give a donation. So according to the Bhakti school, this type of relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is a step towards the Supreme Lord. And it may inspire people towards a more religious practice or moral life. But it's not the ultimate relationship. Just seeing God as the order supplier, the one who will fulfill all my material desires. Generally, if people don't get what they ask for, they simply get frustrated and they lose faith. They stop going to the church or the mosque. However, as our knowledge and faith develops, we stop trying simply to make deals with the Supreme Lord, and we look for a deeper, more meaningful relationship with the Supreme Lord. And we simply see him as our dearest friend, our dearest well-wisher, who is full of compassion and affection, who cares for us so much. When we embrace this beautiful, loving idea of the Supreme Lord, our natural loving nature emerges. Then we just want to serve him. We just want to please him without any expectation of anything in return. We just want to put our lives in his hands and always trust his direction, which comes to us both within and also without, in the form of his pure representatives like the bona fide spiritual masters. Krishna is that beautiful, personal, loving, and lovable aspect of the Supreme. And He's offering His love to each and every one of us so intimately, so perfectly. And ultimately it's only He that can reciprocate our love perfectly and accommodate everyone's loving endeavours perfectly. Yes. It's only then that our loving propensity can be fully satisfied. You know, as devotees of Krishna, we've all come to realize that when we put Krishna in the center of our life and simply try and please Him, we not only achieve the goal of bhakti, which is being able to constantly remember Him, but we automatically become completely satisfied and happy, much more than we ever could be just out there simply trying to satisfy ourselves independently. You know, out there everyone's trying to get some satisfaction through whatever, material enjoyment. You know, everyone has their different ways of trying to get satisfied. We see them up there on the Gold Coast. You know, whether it's riding the surfboard on the big wave, or, you know, riding a motorcycle at 200 kilometers an hour, or going out to the nightclub and getting intoxicated. I mean, you know, people are trying to find happiness and satisfaction in 100 in a million ways. But actually deep down, even people that are very materially satisfied, you know, they have the nice house and the nice car, nice family, deep down, there's something missing. They're not satisfied. So, yeah, we found that, you know, that when you come to Krishna consciousness and start serving Krishna, you actually feel that satisfaction in your heart. You know, we learn about these amazing benefits of giving to Krishna from the heart with love. How He mercifully appreciates and reciprocates with us by blessing us in so many ways. However, Krishna also declares that unfortunately there cannot be any real inner happiness or peace for one who cuts off their relationship with Krishna and views themselves as independent. So it's you know, there's one story in Vrindavan where the gopis, instead of giving to Krishna, they were very reluctant to share their wealth with Krishna. And it led to some very thorny results. You know, once upon a time, the cowherd girls were busy, they were stringing pearls to make little garlands to decorate their cows, their favorite cows. So Krishna heard about this from his pet parrots. You know, Krishna's got these pet parrots, and they fly around Vrindavan, and they check out what's going on in Vrindavan, and they come back and report to Krishna. So these parrots, they came back, and they told Krishna that the gopis are stringing pearls on garlands. So Krishna immediately went there, and he asked the gopis, please, can you give me some pearls, some of your pearls, to decorate my beautiful cow, my two favorite cows? The gopis refused. No way. So Krishna was pleading with them. Then at last, Lalita, Krishna is just a young boy, you know. Lalita said, look through her box to find some nice pearls. And then she found this little small broken pearl, and she handed it to Krishna. Krishna wasn't very happy. Actually, he was very angry. And he exclaimed, I don't need your pearls. I will grow my own pearls. and my pearls will be bigger and more beautiful than your pearls. And the gopis were laughing. Ha! Krishna's telling us he's going to grow pearls. And Krishna ran off. This little baby Krishna, he ran off. He told his mother. He said, my dear mother, Yasoda, I'm going to grow some pearls. I need some pearls to plant. And Krishna's mother laughed. That's ridiculous. You can't grow pearls. Now Krishna said, no, mother. You will see, I will grow beautiful pearl creepers. Wonderful pearls. So Mother Yasoda laughed. But she loved Krishna so much, she lovingly gave him some pearls to plant. Then Krishna went out to the bank of the Jamuna. And he dug up the earth. He planted these pearls and he watered them daily. Not with water, he watered them with milk from his cows. Yes. And then shoots started to appear. Within the 4th day, beautiful creepers were growing from these pearls, with multicolored pearls that emanated this beautiful aroma, were growing on the creepers. Now Krishna and his friends, they started singing and dancing and enjoying, making jokes about the gopis' small pearls. Had these beautiful things. So the gopis, they decided, we'll grow our own pearls. And our pearls will be better than Krishna's. And they collected pearls from all the pearls from their family houses. They planted them. And they watered them not just with milk, but also with butter and ghee, melted butter and ghee. And hopefully they will get pearls more beautiful than Krishna's. However, to their utter disappointment, and of course by Krishna's desire, only thorny bushes grew, no pearls. Meanwhile, Krishna strung his pearls and decorating. He had so many pearls that he was decorating his cows and even the buffaloes and goats and monkeys with beautiful pearl necklaces. And this time, of course, the gopis, they were really distressed because their elders might find out that they've taken all the pearls from their houses. They're going to get into big trouble. So they sent 2 gopis to buy some pearls with lots of gold, to buy some of Krishna's pearls. So when on arrival, Krishna asked his friend to open the treasure chest, allow all the gopis to choose their pearls, and he would name their price. And so they picked all their favorite pearls out. Then Krishna named his price. He wanted so many thousands of hugs and kisses from the gopis. The gopis said, this is too much. We're going home. They left the pearls. They went home to see Radharani. Tell Radharani what had happened. And then Krishna, he skillfully made varieties of exquisite ornaments from these beautiful pearls. And he placed them into these beautiful gold boxes and engraved the gopis' names on them. And he sent them to all the gopis and Radha, and they were very happy to receive those boxes. And wonderful gifts from Krishna. And in reciprocation, they sent many beautiful gifts to Krishna. So yes, our Bhakti Yoga culture embodies this universal truth that one is best situated in life when one is in this mood of giving. And the highest giving is giving to Krishna. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Does anyone have any questions? Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.